Welcome to Retirement Today. I am your host, Michael Reese, and we have a little bit of a surprise this week. Normally, Jonathan's here with us as a co-host, but this week I am so excited to introduce a special guest, Miss Elizabeth James. How are we doing?
Doing great, Mike. So glad to join you today.
Yay, this is awesome. So, Elizabeth, how long have you been? By the way, for those of you out there listening, Elizabeth has been an advisor in our firm for a number of years, but how long total have you been a financial advisor? It's the numbers are getting up there, right?
It is. It is hard to believe it's 19 years. I cannot believe 19 years ago I walked out of college and started in a big box brokerage firm.
That's hilarious. By the way, just think of this. For those of you watching us on YouTube, you're probably looking at Elizabeth like thinking, no, that's impossible. You can't be that old. But yeah, it's been a while. So today we have a bit of a focus. We're going to talk a little bit about some of the biggest mistakes that we've seen over the years. So I've been doing this 25 plus years. Elizabeth has been doing it 19, coming up on the big 2-0 here,
Yes.
coming up on 20 years. And, over the years, we've seen a few, let's call them errors, mistakes, right? We've seen some mistakes happen out there. And we want to talk about three of the bigger mistakes. And I just want to dive right in, Elizabeth. So let's think about over and over again when you think about people with their retirement planning, what is overwhelmingly the number one mistake that you see people make?
Well, hands down, it is absolutely people fail to protect their income, Mike.
They don't protect their income. I know, it's shocking, right? If you think about it, when you're working, you get a paycheck, right?
Correct?
What happens when you retire? Do you get a paycheck anymore?
Absolutely not. So you have to have an income plan. I want you to think retirement is all about income. I have a favorite saying I like to use. We all know the three most important things about real estate, right? Location, location, location. When you think about retirement, I want you to think income, income, income. It's not just about how much you save, but really about how much income you'll have to spend. And more importantly, Mike, is it going to last as long as you do?
Yeah, it's got to last. It's got to grow with inflation, right? And here's the thing. I know over and over again, people don't protect their income, but I know some of you out there listening might think, protect your income. I'm not
What's
quite
that?
sure what that means. I'm wondering, do you have maybe a client story or someone you spoke to recently where this issue came up? Maybe we can help our listeners understand this concept a little bit more.
Well, I've got some new clients that come right to mind, but if it wasn't them, it would be many, many others. So I had some clients recently join us, and we'll call them Sue and Bob to protect the innocent, of course. And they had just retired, done a great job saving, and their original income plan was, well, I'll just take a percentage withdrawal rate off my portfolio. That was their broker's advice.
Yeah, by the way, back up a minute. When you say we're just going to take a percentage withdrawal, what does that mean? Like I retire and I'm just going to make a number up. I retire with $1 million, right? And as you're listening, you might have more than that, you might have less than that, but just to keep it a round figure, I retire with $1 million. When you say take a percentage, what does that mean?
Well, a typical default strategy might be you're going to take 4% of your savings as your withdrawal rate. So in that example, Mike, 4% of $1 million, 40,000 a year.
Okay, so their broker had said, just hey, you've got however much money, take this 4%, and you'll be fine, you'll be good, it'll all work out, right?
That's what they were told, but maybe, maybe not. And there's so many other things to consider, right? What about different types of accounts? Which account when? It's a game I like to play. Which account when makes the most sense for our income plan and our income strategy? And what about Social Security? What about other income sources in retirement? You've got to have an income plan. If you think about it, when you're working and saving, you have a contribution and savings plan. You're maybe contributing in your 401k, into an IRA, into a Roth IRA. So you have some type of systematic contribution plan. Don't you think it makes sense to have a income and distribution plan?
Yeah, obviously, right? I mean, it seems so
Seems
common sense,
obvious.
but people don't do that. So many times, when you are, and most financial advisors aren't aware of this. They have been trained to help you grow and accumulate your money, right? So, well, what happens when you get to the stage of retirement where it's not about growth and accumulation anymore? Now it's about preserving what you've worked so hard to build and making it last and taking that income stream. So, when we talk about protected income, that's the mistake. So let's imagine, go back to this couple, right? Let's pretend they had $1 million. I don't know how much they had, it doesn't matter. Let's say that they followed the broker's advice. They start taking that $40,000 a year. Well, what's wrong with that? What could go wrong?
Well, right now is a good example. The market could not cooperate.
Yeah, what if the market doesn't cooperate? On this show, by the way, in the past, if you've listened to this show regularly, we've spoken of different studies that say if you follow the advice, and they call it the 4% rule that you're outlining here.
Yes.
If you follow that advice and you have, in the first 10 years of retirement, just 1 year when the market loses 20%, then the odds are they're overwhelming that you're just going to run out of money, right? You're just up the creek without a paddle. So what you're saying is, if I'm hearing you correctly, Elizabeth, when a person is saying, all right, here's my retirement savings, I'm going to set that up in some kind of diversified way, and I'm just going to pull out 4% a year, then they're leaving themselves exposed to market risk.
Correct.
Right? So how do we protect the income? What's a better way?
Well, what's a better way would be give different parts of your portfolio a specific job. It's all about purpose and what you need those resources to do for you. Do we need to replace a paycheck in retirement? Absolutely. Well, then it sounds like we need to give some part of our retirement savings the job of income.
Got it. So what you're saying is, in our example of, say, $1 million, which you may say, hey, let's carve out a portion of that and say, all right, your job is to deliver consistent income for some period of time. Maybe it's 10 years, 15 years, 20 years, or for life or something.
Right. It's different for everybody depending on the situation.
Is this something, should we wait till retirement to do this, or is this something we should start setting up before retirement?
Absolutely something you need to look at and address and start setting up before retirement, because the closer you get to retirement is a riskier time to wait, because what could happen to your resources in your portfolio.
That's right. I mean, I guess you don't know what the market's going to do. So what do you say, like 5 years, 10 years? What's a good time frame to start thinking about this?
Well, we certainly help clients that are, 5 to 10 years out from retirement. And it's different for everybody, Mike. But if you're within 10 years of retirement, you have got to get an assessment and take a look at where you are today and have a plan. Have a plan so that you know how you're going to transition to retirement income at that date.
Yeah, when the time comes, right? That's very well said. So, listen, I know we're coming up against a break here, Elizabeth. So, before we do, for all of you listening out there, if you're sitting there saying, holy smokes, I am just like the person Elizabeth's talking about.
Bob and Sue.
Yeah, I'm growing my money. I don't really have any clear idea of how I'm going to protect my income in retirement. And by the way, retirement is all about income. And if you're sitting there, if that's you, maybe you're already retired. Maybe you're going to retire soon. What I want you to do is I want you to pick up the phone and give us a call. Now, I know it's after hours, so you will get our answering service. But if you pick up the phone and give us a call, we will absolutely free of charge put together a personalized Retire Right report. RIGHT is an acronym, stands for Risk, Income, Growth, Healthcare, and Taxes. But we'll put that report together and we'll focus on income in this example. How do you intelligently carve out a portion of your portfolio so that you can protect your income when the time comes, right? So we'll help do that for you absolutely for free. But heads up, we only have room for 10 people this week. So you got to be one of the first 10 callers. So here's our number. You want to pick up the phone, call 512-886-5850. And again, that number 512-886-5850. We only have room for 10 people, so first come, first serve. We do ask that you have saved at least $200,000 for your retirement. So give us a call now. Let's get you on the calendar so we can help you out with that protected income. Now, coming up, we're going to go to the second biggest mistake people make, and I think that one's on risk, right?
Yes, absolutely.
All right, we'll be right back.